Hi Storytime lovers! What are your plans for the summer? Whether you are lucky enough to be going to the seaside or visiting your family, the summer holidays usually lead to plenty of outdoorsy pleasures. And don't you just love those long, lazy afternoons when you can just take in the fresh air, admire nature, and observe all the birds and critters? I remember one summer, I opened up a hospital for some injured worms in my parents' wheelbarrow. Have you ever tried being a vet for the summer? Well, Eric, the little boy in today's story, is spending summer with his granddad when he finds a baby seagull with an injured wing. Of course, he wants to help this baby seagull, but how do you go about nursing a seagull back to health? My Summer with Grandad was written by Tom Tinn-Disbury, an illustrator based in Rugby in the United Kingdom. His debut picture book as both author and illustrator, The Caveman Next Door, was published less than 2 years ago in 2019. In fact, both The Caveman Next Door and My Summer with Grandad were published by New Frontier Publishing, an Australian children's publisher which has just very recently set up in London. What I really like about New Frontier is their choice of books which all aim at inspiring and educating. For instance, if you head to their website, you can download for free some amazing worksheets on My Summer with Grandad. These worksheets provide teachers and parents with discussion topics and all sorts of activities from word searches to memory games and writing postcards. And now, let's take a walk on the beach with Eric and his granddad. Eric loved spending his summers with his granddad. This summer would be extra special. It would be the first year Eric would spend on his granddad's fishing boat, helping him catch lots of fish. Eric always imagined that he would be a great fisherman. A natural. But, as it turned out, he wasn't. That first evening, as they trundled home, Eric hung his head. So his granddad told him about a special job on the boat. A very important job he thought Eric would be perfect for. Chief Seagull Shoer. After a few successful days of shoeing, a small squawk caught Eric's attention. It was a baby seagull. One of his wings had got trapped and injured in a fishing net, leaving him unable to fly. Eric and his granddad agreed that the best thing to do was take the seagull home. Eric carefully studied the steps for nursing an injured seagull. Kind of. Step 1. Bandage the injury. Step 2. Make sure he has a scrummy dinner. Step 3. Give him a name. Eric called the seagull Beaky. Step 4. Provide some mental stimulation. Step 5. Get him used to the water. It looked like Beaky's wing was on the mend. Step 6. Study the job. Step 7. Get him fresh air and exercise. Beaky's wing was soon so strong that he could help Eric out on the boat. Eric's granddad was delighted to see Eric so happy. But he knew that step 8 was soon to follow. Step 8. Once the seagull is better, he must rejoin his family. Although it was hard for Eric to say goodbye, deep down, he knew it was for the best. So, off Beaky flew. Eric missed his friend a great deal, but he knew his granddad would always be there for him. He just wanted one more day with his friend on the boat. One morning, not long after, Eric was woken by something tapping on his window. Tap, 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 tap. He was then confronted by an almighty squawk, squawk. It seemed Beaky had added step 9. Spend one more day with my friend on the boat. Of course, all Eric heard Beaky say was squawk, squawk, squawk. But Eric knew what he meant. The end. Well, now, if you find an injured animal this summer, you'll know all the steps on how to nurse it. Or will you? Let's see how well you remember some of the steps by playing the step-by-step game that I made up just for you. Can you tell me what step 1 is called? Step 1 is bandage the injury. What about step 2? What kind of dinner must you make sure the seagull gets? Make sure he has a scrummy dinner. Fish and chips. Scrummy indeed. Step 3 is about name giving. What name does Eric give the baby seagull? He calls him Beaky. And do you remember what kind of mental stimulation Eric provides Beaky with in step 4? He stimulates him with a game of chess. That's right. And why is step 8 the most difficult step for Eric? Because once the seagull is happy, he must rejoin his family. Okay, now we're warmed up and you've had a second chance at looking at the illustrations. Let's play one more game. The Eagle Eye Game. Question number 1. Can you tell me which 2 characters are on every illustration but 2? Eric and not his granddad, not Beaky, but his very faithful dog. Look, he's everywhere. On the beach, on the boat, at breakfast time, at bath time, at bedtime, and even at surprise time. Question number 2. Which 2 colors are on all pages but 2? Red and green. Well, first of all, red and green are the color of Eric and his granddad's clothes. But the house is filled with many green objects, from a cover to a lampshade, a photo frame, a bath towel, a curtain, or a slipper. Why do you think the author chose red and green as dominant colors? Do you like this choice of colors? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you want to hone your drawing skills, you can visit New Frontier Publishing's YouTube channel to get a free lesson with the author himself to learn how to draw Beaky. The link is in the description box below. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this book, you should definitely read Lost in the Clouds by Tom Tinn-Disbury, about a little boy called Billy who misses his mummy very much because she lives in the clouds. It's a very moving, delicate, and beautiful story on how to deal with the feeling of loss. I hope you enjoyed my summer with Grandad. Let me know if you read or have read other books by the talented Tom Tinn-Disbury. Take care, read on, and see you soon.